Welcome to part 15 of building Uncle Dorkel. I just want to show you something that I'm going to be adding to Uncle Dorkel, but as you can see I still don't have anything done here yet. And that's only because the Halloween supplies are not out. And the Halloween stores only have the yellow ball caps. So what I'm going to do is to work on a mechanism for the Adam's apple in this video. And I'll show you what I've got for the Adam's apple. This is a cap from one of Tommy's aftershaves that I pulled out of the recycle bin. And I'll show you what I did to it here. What I did is I got a wooden dowel here. This is probably a ½ inch, maybe a little better. ½ inch from an old towel rack that broke on us, so I saved the wooden dowel. The cap was on here like this. I drove the wooden dowel tight into the cap, put it in a vise and sawed off the bottom part here. So that all you've got here is the cap and the wood flushed out in here, and it fits real tight in here. The reason I took the threaded part off of this is because it sticks out too far. If you look here, you see a screw and a nut on here. That was purposely left there. That holds this jaw on, the wire that I put in. Because I want a control rod to go down from here, through this, and probably down here, just to be freestanding, so that when he opens his jaw, this ball will go up and down, and I want it low profile, so that's why I cut the threads off. And that's why I want the rubber for here, in addition to having it hinged, where you don't see, you know, on most ventriloquist dummies, they just have a groove on each side of the mouth. Well, I want something more natural looking. So this ball is going to be rubbing up against the rubber. I'm holding the camera so I can't actually show you, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. As the mouth opens and closes, the ball will follow the jaw and a short run like this, probably about an inch or so. So that's what I'm going to be doing on this. So what I got to fabricate, either using this 1/16 inch brass rod to go from this screw, put a loop in the brass rod, cut it down and have it go through the ball here and have it go up and down. But I think I'm going to have a little instability problem, so I'm going to maybe use a piece of flat stock in here, like the aluminum and so forth, like I did with everything else, and just have it come out of here, come screwed in the back of this, and just have it hanging on the bottom of the jaw. So when the jaw opens, it'll follow the jaw like this, and it'll be close in here, and the rubber will go over it, and it'll look something like this here. Impossible to show you, you know, I'd have to have a dozen hands to show you, but you get the idea. It shows through the rubber, and it'll show as movement going up and down without putting any strain on this, because what I don't want happening is having this have so much resistance in here that it'll prevent the jaw from closing. So I do have to make sure that this is not going to bind up in any way. I got Uncle Dorkel's head on the operating table here, and we're doing some neck surgery. We're going to install a big goiter in his neck. In other words, an enlarged Adam's apple. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do this now. This is not tightened up yet, but what I did is I got this so that when you pull this, I just got to make a little thing to keep this in line here, so that when it pulls down it stays straight. It doesn't go like this or like this, because you can't depend on this. I can tighten this only so much, and then I can probably put silicone in there. But the main thing is I don't want any drag on this, so I got to keep some kind of an alignment, but I don't want any friction, because I don't need to have any problems with the jaw not closing all the way. So that when you pull this wide open, the ball comes down to about here. When you let it go, about here. So you got a good inch of travel, but we just have to do something with this. Alright, installing a little guide here out of some plastic from the original bottle. And we're just filing a kind of a round, smooth groove in here. And that will go, there's a V in here I put in. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not. So this is going to be put in like this and taped in, so that when I pull this will keep this thing centered. It won't go off this way, because this can be a hinge point here. We don't want this to be swerving, but I can only tighten this so much because there's felt on the inside of this and I can't get at the top of the screw no longer, and I don't want to cut into the pink felt there. So what I'll simply do is keep this as a guide. We're trying to keep the resistance down as much as possible. I don't care about this opening, because when this opens, it's not going to hit. It's not going to hit anything. It's not going to hit this anyways. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some little adjustment on it. I'll be back on this video in a minute. Okay. Now if you look at this, we got the guide in here. The Adam's apple will move. Now she hits down, so what I'm going to do is a little bend up there like that. But you see, it's going to be pushed down a little bit with the rubber anyways. I got to do a little more on here yet to brace this up. This is just a guide, that's all it is, so then I can, when I got it the way I want it, let's make sure it's not hitting anything inside. This all travels in unison anyways with this, so even if it touches this, it isn't going to hurt anything. That's good. Alright, we're going to try it with a piece of that yellow rubber just to see how it looks. Don't know how well it's going to work. But basically, the neck is going to be wrapped like that, but it can't be too tight. So when you pull on this, the goiter will go up and down. Actually, I would like it to slide in the rubber, but it doesn't really matter, I guess. So the rubber will be secured up to here. Secured down at the bottom here somehow. Probably in two pieces, I would imagine. Just come around the neck like this, so that when you operate this, there's a little Adam's apple will go up and down. But we can't use this, obviously. Okay, I put some silicone in here. If you can see that or not. Okay, around the nut, and everything's pretty tight. And this bend here doesn't quite hit this, but she's fine. She goes down a little bit, but I can always adjust this. I can bring this up higher if I have to by bending it in here a little bit, as long as it travels freely through the hole. And as you can see, that hole is a little larger so that it allows for the movement, and the jaw opens all the way and the ball does not hit here. It gets very close, but it doesn't hit here. So I think we're good, and this is not going to turn because I got that loop in there with the screw and the washer on the back side of this. If you can see that or not, but there it is. So it's not going to roll on the round wire. And there's a loop under this end too, so this thing is not going to turn this way. It may go up and down, but she's got some spring tension here. That's how she's going to work. So right now, this is all I can do on this today, because this has got to dry, this silicone, that clear silicone in there. I bought clear silicone because that's what I want to use around the lips. After I cut the slot out for the lips, then I want to build them up with silicone to make them look like lips. But I don't want to stiffen it up, because this, like I say, I don't want no resistance on this. I don't mind a little resistance pulling down on this. I'm not going to be using this any longer than maybe a 3-minute skit. So my finger isn't going to get too tired pulling this, because this is pretty hard. But I need that hardness because I need 2 springs in there because I have to return this jaw to closed position. So today I think we're going to wind it down. Some beautiful weather. Finally we got some beautiful weather, and I hope we're rid of this hot humid summer. It's been the worst summer I can remember in many, many, many years, especially the high humidity. So this is all I can do right now. I just gotta wait to get the right materials. As soon as Walmart comes out with their Halloween stuff, I asked yesterday, and they had some Halloween stuff in boxes, but they're not putting it out until next week because of this school stuff that's still out. So who knows if they're going to have the right color ball caps, if they have them at all. If not, I may have to use the yellow stuff, and then he's going to look like oh, what the heck is that character that has the yellow lips? Can't think of him now. Anyways, that's it for today. We'll come back on this video here when we get the materials, and if we don't get the materials, this may have to wait. Meanwhile, he's got his Adam's apple, and I'm sure he is very happy.